Hi, I'm Brandy Carson with the Help Club for Moms in Colorado Springs, and I'm here to talk to you today about how to have fun while saving money this Christmas. My husband and I have 5 kids with a one-income family, and we have to really learn how to stretch our budget every year. We don't have a lot of extra money, but 5 or 6 years ago, we decided to start pulling aside every month a little bit of money to go towards Christmas. So we're not so strapped and stressed out when it comes to money by the time we get to Christmas. In November, we sit down and we pray and ask God how we can stretch this budget and to give us wisdom on where to spend it and how. And we sit down and we come up with several categories that we need to split our money up into. Some of these categories include shopping for our family, obviously our kids, each other, but for our friends and relatives as well. Other things you might include are budgeting for your gift wrapping, boxes and wrapping paper. We set aside how much we can use for that. Whether you're going to send Christmas cards, include the stamps in the budget because come on, they're expensive these days. If you're going to give to a charity like Christmas shoebox or Christmas star tree. This year we also decided to budget to make homeless care bags to hand out. We budget for all of that if we decide to do that any given year. Any other activities that you and your family want to do that's extra special that might cost money, budget that as well. We tend to go to the Nutcracker once a year. That's the one thing we spend money on outside of gifts at Christmas time, and we budget for that. A good tip is just try to find free things like Christmas lights and making cookies together as a family, reading books. It doesn't always have to cost money. And those of you that like to spend money on decorations, make sure you budget that as well. Anything that involves Christmas, make sure you budget for it. That way you can keep your money under wraps and don't overspend in the holiday season, but you still get to have a little fun and be a part of the Christmas spirit. Another good tip is for stocking stuffers for your kids is every year I hit the Dollar Tree. They have lots of great things. You know, those little stocking stuffers don't always last. There's no reason to spend a ton of money on it. They have, for girls, cute headbands and hair accessories. They bring in all kinds of cute little toys every year at this time of year that they don't normally carry. Last year I got my daughter these little build your own robot kits out of little nuts and bolts, and she loved it and asked for it again. Hopefully Santa will bring it again this year. Also, one thing I always do is stuff that we already need, the kids already need. We have 3 girls. Hairbrushes never last in our house. They break every year, they're lost, somebody's fighting over the other one. So my girls tend to get a hairbrush every year. If you need toothbrushes or toothpaste, splurge a little, get a fun one, but they need it anyway, so you might as well fill her up. Ponytail holders, crayons, markers, those are great, easy, cheap tips that you can fill their stockings with. But there's also, you want to have fun. You don't want to be stressed out just worrying about money. So what we do is we make a Christmas bucket list. This is kind of a way of budgeting your time at Christmas time. Every year we sit down and all the kids get to choose one Christmas activity that's the most important to them, within reason, cost, and all that entail. And I sit down with my calendar at the end of November and try to figure out where we can fit that in. You need to always consider family Christmases and when those are going to be. For our family, we always go to see Christmas lights. This is a fun, free activity, but it's my kids' favorite. We make hot cocoa and take in travel mugs and cookies, and we drive around town to see all the fun lights. That's something we schedule out in advance so we know that we're gonna have time for it. We make gingerbread houses every year. Sometimes we just do it at home with our family. This year, we have a friend that is doing a gingerbread party, so we're gonna get to do that with all our friends this year. Whether you do any special events, like I said, we do the Nutcracker, so making sure we have time for that in our schedule, and just any Christmas parties that you do with your friends. One other tip is that I even schedule when I'm going to wrap my kids' gifts, because with 5 kids, it's really hard to squeeze that in, and I'm usually exhausted by the end of the day. So I set one day aside on a weekend, and it's a daddy day with them, and so they have a special daddy day. Dad takes them out to go see something Christmassy or have a special lunch, and mom stays home and wraps her gifts and usually watches her own Christmas movie that nobody else wants to see. So I hope these tips will help you. Remember, you don't have to do everything. And even if you don't write it in your schedule, just be intentional about writing down and planning ahead what you might have to do. And you have to be flexible. People get sick, thing comes up, and sometimes it's just fun to be spontaneous. But the point is to be intentional so we don't lose the holiday season and realize we missed out on all the fun activities that we wanted to do. I hope you enjoy this, and I hope even if you only got one thing from it, then that's all that it matters. I hope you all have a great Christmas.